Yo, what up, what up, what up? All praises to the Most High, man. All right, let's take two. Y'all see the inauguration, so we gotta work on some couple things there. But anyways, the reason I'm basically coming at y'all like this is because like I know everybody tired of like putting in all this work, and then when it's time to get paid, they wonder what happened. You was a part of the scheme that causes everybody to lose the money, so now nobody gets the money, dummy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I'm gonna be 100. I'm just gonna be what you call flat honest and let you know. There'll be schemes like we gonna do it this way, and it's like you can't do it like that. Well, yes, we can. We can. That comes with selfishness. So it's like me finding out that when I first started studying, and then I started finding out like I was like, okay, why is there so many different Bibles, so to speak? I was like, that was the King James. I said, okay, that was a real King James. Then there's the NIV. I'm like, okay, NIV, National.
It's the new international version.
Yeah, that. Then you got. You know what I'm saying? God's word, I understood God's word. But you got all these versions of the Bible, so to speak. Like this is true. And then the basic is just wait, didn't they say God? You know what I'm saying? Like then you hear God, and then somebody come and tell you that some people look at the devil as God and it's like, okay, so which God are you talking about? When you dealing with this situation, why am I going into this? Because like we need to know what's going on. Cause like this is an area where you gotta be. If it was possible, listen. This is an area where it's called. If it was possible, the very elect would be fooled. Meaning, if I'm talking to somebody that's of the elect, I know I pretty much kind of know if I'm talking to somebody. Like if you ask me a certain question, I'm gonna know off the bat that nah, that's a loaded question. Why you asking me that? So my answer gonna be like to answer that's doctrine. That's going against somebody's doctrine. I don't have nothing to say about that. Whatever's written about is what you have. You're not coming to me for information if you coming to me like that. That's kind of that situation where it's like that's being messy. That's what you're dealing with. So it's kind of like me finding out, oh, okay, well, I'm not the first person to find. Like, come on now, like I'm smart, but I'm not the first person to find out that the United States of America has like a weak point. They know they got a weak point. That's why they focus and try to keep a structure to keep from breaking down or falling off the weak point. Duh. So you know what I'm saying? When somebody would write that up, it's like, how gullible can you be? No, they send signals like, okay, he's catching on or they're catching on, so we need to move like this. They trying to steal y'all blessing. So people that's working 9 to 5s, meaning you go to work. I'm gonna give an analogy here. You go to work. Now, I used to do this. I go to work all day. Then I had training because I'm a professional athlete. So I would go to work all day, get up early in the morning, go run. If I get through running, make it back, I gotta go to work. If I get through work, you know what I'm saying? After work, I gotta train again. By the time I get done training, it's kind of late at night. So it's late at night. Now I got two things going on, man. I got a family or children that want to spend time with me, and I'm already going to work in the morning. I'm going to train early in the morning. That's more hours away from the children. And then I'm at work from this time to this time. That's more time away from the children. Then I go train after that. They can come with me, but that's still kind of more time away from the children. So when my paycheck come in, I'm looking at the paycheck and rent is $400, $500, $600, and my paycheck is about $400, $500. This full time, but I got insurance being taken out, So my check about 4, 5. I don't know what I'm saying. I got a degree as well, so it's kind of like my check is, you know what I'm saying, like 400 and something dollars a week, 500 a week. So you got about 200 and something dollars being taken out for insurance. So it really was like maybe 6 or 7, but you got about $500 that's actually coming out after they take out taxes and all of that. So you living paycheck to paycheck as you working your tail off. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm cool with it. Gotta provide for the kids, everything. All right. I finally get the times to start dropping. Then I'm like, then that's when I'm faced with the next area. And, okay, I'm faced with the next area of politics within the areas of sports. That's a whole different ball game. So now I'm faced with them politics. And then I finally run the time, and it's like, okay, they don't want to give me the time. They don't even want to give me the money. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, then I start to really figure out what's going on with the situation and the system. And then I start to look at, I may listen to a song or two or something, and then I start to hear, man, I was working, busting my behind, doing this. Kids steady asking me this. I'm barely able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, even on food stamps, they barely able to, like, pay for this and pay for that. So then, let's say they did something to protect somebody, and now they got a record. Now they can't get a decent job to pay $12 an hour. So now you in this area, now they feel like they got what? The hands that they're dealt, they feel like they got to slang, they got to do dope. What it is they got to do. That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. So the Byzantine Empire, like, yo, it's like, nah, God takes care of us. But we have this type of work. But within these areas, what are we doing? Like, you got work to do. So you either in this area over here, or you in this area over there. These are the areas that you have command over. Okay, you need to work, you can work in this area. You need to work here, you can work in this area. But if you don't want to be in the Byzantine Empire, you want to go do something else and wait on that system, that's on you. And you by yourself. When God, like, here's a blessing. Like, that's all y'all got to do. When this come in, then, like, whatever you need, you got. But people don't cherish things sometimes that God give you. They got to think about it. They got to see about it. Sometimes it ain't even they got to think, they got to see. They just wish they had seen it first. So then you dealing with a whole different concept. So then it's like they take you away from the family to protect you. Like, so for instance, like with me, I'm working, they take me away from the family. It's not because I'm doing something wrong, but it's like, okay, we got to protect and move him here. And then now he needs to start to commence the teachings or the learning of the law of the land, what's actually going on, what can be the parameters, because you going into this place of law, or you going to this place of judge, jury, and executioner in this area. So some would be like, you got the big head. Like, what? I was like, first of all, have you not read into it? Maybe you feel this way because, like, it ain't your family. Like, if you switched and put the role in your hand and put you in the seat, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel the exact same way. Let's see. Rebecca, if your last name was Manuel and you looked up and found out that you were over this empire that was the best in the world come marketing, that means money.
So my last name not gonna be Manuel now? Cool. Why you
So you got that, and then somebody come to you, you start working in the position that you're supposed to work in, which is like dealing with the Byzantine Empire. Money start coming in, so you go from like little bit of money to like an extraordinary amount of money that you send out to help the people, and you develop a system to make sure that everybody's taken care of, your family and everybody within the nation is taken care of. Then when somebody come to you and they be like, oh, she thinks she all this in a bag of chips. I'm pretty sure, like, if you switch the roles of what is given to you, wouldn't you feel like, oh, well, this was given to me? This wasn't something like I didn't even know about this up until X amount of years ago. I just started working in the area that I was supposed to work in. Ain't that how you gonna feel? You gonna feel like they don't understand, right?
Why are you asking for my opinion? You ain't talked to me all day.
Okay, she don't want to be a part of this. We gonna X that out. I tried. All right.
Bullshit.
So this is the area that we are in. When you dealing with that, those are the areas that you have to deal with. So what does the devil want? That what just me and Rebecca just did. He don't want the point to get across because there's a point and there's a fault on both sides. But until you can see it from both sides' point of view, if say for instance, if I'm looking at it just from one side, then I might be looking at it a bit immature. I may be looking at it in a place that's like, okay, this not actually foul because I did this, this, and this, which triggered this, this, and this. They don't look at it like that. So that's more or less like if you're dealing with like royalty or people of stature, that's something that you kind of have to deal with in your house. Because like that's the queen of XYZ and this is the king of XYZ. So they could do no wrong no matter what they say to do. But when you put the two together and it's like, nah, you're going to have to own up to that. Because you're not in a situation where this person outranks you. It's like it's either even or you actually above them. Which sometimes you're dealing with the situation. It's like, okay, I came from my mama in this situation and I found out some other things. So I'm like, okay, that's who I am. So I was given this position. So I actually admonish, you know what I'm saying, people to be themselves, but don't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Don't overstep your boundaries. Don't be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because like you gonna feel the wrath of God, period. Like God wasn't a person that you could just go in, just slap around and say whatever you want to say. You gonna feel the wrath of God. Like bottom line, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All the being disrespectful and this other things, like we gonna start making parameters because our people gotta be protected. That's unnecessary stress. She don't need it. I don't need it. Neither one of us need that. Nobody in our camp needs that. That comes from overseas. That comes from over there. That don't come like we don't build that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the areas that comes in our and those are the areas that they come in to cause friction where you're trying to get this point across and they don't want to answer the question because they may be doing certain things that's within that area and then you've already said things to them so they feel some type of way. They don't want to be outed. So you just got to be like, all right, that's what that is. So this is what we got to deal with. And right now we're going to have to move accordingly because I don't know why. But so that everybody protected and we able to move forward, we're going to have to annex that and then, you know what I'm saying, put a box on it and seal it and then keep that there for right now because right now we don't have time for, you know what I'm saying, to be talking bad about folks, to be in a negative area at all when you're dealing with God. So if you don't believe in God, just leave. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try to come in. You know what I'm saying? Because first things first, you gotta believe. You gotta be a believer. You know what I'm saying? Like that means I'm not forcing you in here. I'm like, hey, like if you ain't a believer, then just go over there. Like you cool. Like I ain't got nothing to do with it. But we gotta watch the faking. Like okay, because I want to be with him, but I don't believe this. Nah, that ain't gonna work. You either gonna believe and that's it, and then you can. But you can't have not belief and then belief. Like you can't be married to an unbeliever. Like it's hard to be married to an unbeliever because your house will be like your house will be kind of chaotic. When you get to talking about God, they be like, "What God ever did for me?" You breathing, right? Systematically speaking, what God ever did for me? You eating, right? What does God ever did to me? He extended things that he didn't have to, they didn't have to allow that to be extended. There are many areas that we take for granted. And I didn't know this until like I was running track and I met some people that was from other countries. And they was like, y'all take a lot of things for granted, Josh. Like, what you mean? He was like, man, over where we from, like, we can't just go like up the street and go to the store.